So in this video, as I've told you, we'll study about kinds of corporate restructuring. So the corporate restructuring is classified into different types. The first type is portfolio restructuring. People, they do the portfolio restructuring initially. The reason of doing the portfolio restructuring is to diversify the amount of risk and to have a less amount of risk. They will do a corporate restructuring, that is portfolio restructuring. It includes significant change in the mix of asset owned by the firm or the line of business in which firm operates, including liquidation, divestitures, assets sales, and spin-offs. Company management may restructure its business in order to sharpen focus by disposing of an unit that is peripheral to their core business, and in order to raise capital or rid itself of a languishing operation by selling off a division. Moreover, a company can involve an aggressive combination of acquisition and divestiture to restructure its portfolio. So restructuring portfolio is a kind of corporate restructure. And in that case, a company might be doing that many a times internally, right? Where they have their own assets mix, the combination of asset, where, on the basis of the liquidity, on the basis of solvency, on the basis of the different things, whatever their assets are there, those assets on the basis of liquidity, the assets will be restructured. The portfolio, the investment in the assets will get restructured. By this, what happens? The assets which you want to dispose, right, which are not the core for your business, you can dispose those all assets and you can get the desired amount of liquid cash or capital. Similarly, if you want to raise capital, right, you can dispose your old assets or dispose your unwanted assets, and then you can raise the capital from the market. And by raising the capital, you can buy new assets or you can get the new assets simultaneously. So there will be more benefit here. Instead of going any external reconstruction, you can do a better word called as a portfolio structuring. Next is financial restructuring. So here it refers to allocation of corporate flow of funds, cash or credit, and to strategic or contractual decision rule that direct the flow and determine the value add in its distribution among the various corporate constituencies. It includes significant changes in the capital structure of a firm, including leveraged buyout, leveraged recapitalization, and debt for equity swaps, merger acquisition, joint venture, and strategic alliances. So here, whatever are the financial investments they are doing, in those financial investments, the companies are going to do a different kind of the restructuring, right? The elements of this corporate financial structure, it includes the investment base. So here there is no thing about portfolio. Here they are main focusing or core value is about investments and defensive reserve, the focus of investment, right? The depth of equity and mix between the debt and equity. So these all things whichever are related to your financial affairs of a business, those all things are going to restructure. And if you do that, it generates an economic value, right? If financial restructuring is done properly, it will generate an economic value in the market. And that economic value in the market will give you ultimately good financial strength, right? With that good financial strength, you can either run your company successfully, you can buy the different kind of assets, so various other things you can do. Similarly, the third kind of restructuring is organizational restructuring. So this restructuring includes change in the organization structure of the firm. As every organization, they have their own organization structure. Now here you are going to change some minor changes you will do in the organization structure, in the hierarchy, in the divisions, in the boundaries, flattering, right? Span of control, reducing the production diversification, compensation, or there are various things related to the employment, governance, right? Downsizing the employment, etc. So this is this also includes layoff, right? Layoff of performing the people, or uh, different things which will also have a negative impact of the performance. And the positive that it will have small effect on performance, that if you do organization restructuring, some people who were at the working very hard, you will recognize them, you will be changing some hierarchies. But if you don't give importance for all of the staff members, it will also have a negative impact, right? Negative impact on the performance. The people who don't get good designation, who don't get good span of control or good power or control in the organization, they are tending to make some disturbance in the organization. So it has both positive as well as a negative impact. So organization restructuring also is a kind of restructuring a company does, where they find they want to change total organization structure, hierarchy, span of control, division, boundaries, right? So even streaming line process, right? Laying off of the employees, downsizing employment. So various things are involved in organization structure of a organization. That is also a kind of internal reconstruction. Then other kind of corporate restructuring is technological restructuring. Here, an alliance with other companies to exploit technology experts is termed as technology restructuring. So sometimes a company where they don't have a sufficient amount of good technology, they might be taking a help of some third party, or they can outsource some outsiders to do some technological changes. Right? You are following some traditional technology, but you want to upgrade your technology, you will be taking some help of the some third party. So that third party, what they do is they will provide you with the latest technology, they will charge you some amount. So here there will be a technological restructuring, right? Technological restructuring will totally happen in the organization. So these three things are the kinds of restructuring: portfolio restructuring, financial restructuring, organizational restructuring, and the last is technological restructuring. Okay, now let us come to the next part, that is choice of corporate restructuring. The corporate restructuring is quite wide, covering various aspects, right? It has a wide aspect. It is not just related to one core concept. It is related to various aspects, various concepts. It may be chosen from among the four broad groups. For the four broad groups, corporate restructuring is generally chosen. The first is expansion, second is contraction, third is corporate control, and fourth is change in ownership structure. These are four important various components, right? Various components of the corporate restructuring. For most importantly, the four important components are expansion, contraction, corporate control, and change in ownership. Okay, let us study this chart of the components of corporate restructuring. As we know that these are four components: expansion, contraction, corporate control, and change in ownership. Now, generally the people, why they go for a corporate restructuring? Now, under expansion, the corporate restructuring can be done by merger and acquisition, trend off, tender offers, asset acquisition, joint venture. So here expansion is done, and due to that, corporate restructuring will happen. In case of contraction, right? In case of contraction, the company will also is not expanding the business, but they are controlling their business, or they are limiting their expansion. In case of that, they either go for spin-off, split off, divestitures, equity carved out, and split up, right? So these are five important contraction. They are not going for expansion, contraction. Opposite of expansion is contraction. The next is corporate control. This is also a various other component under corporate restructuring. Corporate control. They have anti-takeover defense, share repurchases, exchange offers, proxy content, right? Proxy content. So these are under corporate control. And in change in ownership, they generally have a leveraged buyout, right? Then MLPs, going private, ESOPs, right? So we'll study this all point one by one. First, let us go with the first part, that is expansion. So expansion, it is a takeover in acquisition. Sometimes it is distinct between takeover and acquisition, connotes forced or unwilling or hostile takeover. Expansion is also called as a takeover, hostile takeover, etc. Where some party person is not ready, even if he is not ready, you want to buy it, right? Such kind of thing where mutually the target company and others, they are not, might be ready or not. It does generally has a friendly takeover also. That is also an expansion kind of things. But even if there is not friendly takeover, hostile takeover, then even that also is called as takeover. Okay. Second is tender offer. In the case of tender offer, a public offer is made for acquiring the shares of target company, right? A public offer at large, a company will make. Who is interested to buy, come forward, pay the amount and buy the shares. Here, the acquisition of the shares of target company indicates acquisition of management control in that company. For instance, India Cement gave an open market offer for the shares of Rasi Cement. Okay, so there you may find that such kind of tender offer was happened. Asset acquisition is also a kind of component of corporate restructuring. Somebody want to acquire asset in some uh, group or some company. Such asset may be tangible or intangible. A manufacturing unit of a firm, intangible assets like brand, trademark, etc. So there is that particular thing is also a component of corporate restructuring. Joint venture, where jointly a person will do consolidate two or more companies from a temporary partnership firm to a specified purpose. So there also we will find that there is an important component of corporate restructuring. Contraction. Next term. In contraction, as I've told you, there is a term called as spin-off. Spin-off occurs when a subsidiary company and independent entity, the parent company, distributes shares of the subsidiary to its shareholders, right? A parent company will distribute the share of the subsidiary company to its shareholders. So they, instead of going to the market, they are controlling their size of the firm. The size of the firm will get reduced. They don't want that ownership of the firm, ownership of the management should get distributed. So they are controlling that by distributing the shares of the uh, parent company, right, or subsidiary company to the parent company, or parent company to the subsidiary company. Likewise, they do a spin-off, right? Spin-off, the word as we can suggest, spin-off, right? So next is split off. In the case of split off, a new company is created in order to take over the operations of an existing division. You will create your own new company. Why? That you will take over the division, your own division, and the new company in the exchange of the stock of the parent company. The parent company is there. Earlier you started it. So the new company will acquire the shares of the parent company. As of now, you will be having two companies. Now the new company is already there with you. People will start investing money in the new company, as well as in the parent company. Already you have some old shareholders, right? So you will be having a control in both the companies, in the new company as well as in the parent company. Such situation where you are creating a new company to buy existing division or a portion in the existing shareholders of a company, obtaining the stocks in the subsidiary. Such kind of contraction, limitation is called as split offs. Next is divestitures. So divestitures are also a popular things. So it is outright sale of a company subsidiary. Normally, sell-offs are done because the subsidiary doesn't fit to parent company core strategy. The market may be undervaluing the combined business due to lack of synergy between the parent and subsidiary. As a result, management and the board decide that the subsidiary is better off under different ownership. So they will try to sell that outright, the sale of company subsidiary, whatever, if they have two companies, subsidiary and parent company. So they will try to outright the sale of the subsidiary company. Normally sell-offs are done because the subsidiary doesn't fit to the parent company. The parent companies and subsidiary company might not be fitting each other's responsibilities, or they are not matching with their roles. So the subsidiary company will be sold. Such kind of things are called as divestitures. Equity carved out. More and more companies are using equity carved out. To boost shareholders' value, a parent firm makes a subsidiary public through initial public offering of shares, amounting to parent sell-off. A newly public listed company is created, but the parent keeps a controlling stake in the newly created subsidiary. So here what happens? A new company is created as in the split off, similar way. But here what happens? New company is created and the initial public offering. When you start a company, as you know that for the first time you will be doing it as initial public offering, right, in the primary market. Now that IPO will be issued by the newly startup company, the parent company will purchase the majority of shares or stake in the newly startup company. IPO, what you call. In that case, you will be having a control of both companies, the parent company as well as subsidiary company, right? So such kind of carved out, or we call it as equity carved outs. So the carve out is a strategic avenue a parent firm may take when one of its subsidiaries is growing faster and carrying higher valuation than other business owned by the parent. Right? Like you have some other companies, your one subsidiary company is growing very fastly. So the owner, what he will think is from his parent company, he will start investing more money in the subsidiary company. Right? This is a new legal entity of carved out and separate bound. The most carve outs, right? The said sometimes company carve out subsidiary, not because it's not doing well, but because it is burden. They sometimes they say the company carved out and subsidiary, not because they think it as a burden, but they think that this as a track, or they think as a point of view of growing revenue or a profit. They do it as carved out. Next is split ups. In case of split ups, the entire company is broken up in series of spin-off. The company is broken in the different part. As a result, the parent company no longer exists and only the new offsprings continues to survive. Right? A split up basically involves the creation of new class of stock for each of the parent operating subsidiary, paying current subsidiary the dividend of new class of stock. Right? So here they are dividing the company in splitting off, right? If you divide that, no parent company will get existed. So they are divided in different class here, class of stock, and then dissolving the parent company. They will dissolve the parent company, all right? They will dissolve it. They don't want to work under a parent company. Shareholders, the new company may be defined as shareholders the parent company and may exchange their stock for stock in one or more of the spin-off. Like example, you can see the restructuring of Andhra Pradesh State Electricity Board is the good example of split off. The power generating division and transmission and distribution division of Andhra Pradesh State Electricity Board was transferred to two different companies, namely one APG and company and APTRA company respectively. As a result of such split off, ceased to exist. Like they have split up one company into two companies. Like here in India, in Karnataka also they have split off, they have did. Right? One is Karnataka Electricity Board and one is Bangalore Electricity Board. Right? They have divided that. So earlier it was just one, like KB, Karnataka Electric Board. Now, if you get a bill or some thing, you will be getting a Hubli Electricity Board. Or if you are in Bangalore, Mysore, or some other part of that particular portion, there Bangalore Electricity Board. So here such strategy they follow to have a different span of a control. One unit is there, one company is there. They will do a split off, right? They will split this both things, and now the parent company is not existing, right? Andhra Pradesh Electricity Board is not at all existing. There is a different board called as EB. Similarly, here Hubli Electricity Board is there, or Bangalore Electricity Board is there. So such kind of strategy they follow is called as split ups. Next strategy is tracing stock. A tracing stock is a special type of stock issued by the publicly held company to track the value of one segment to that company. The stock allows the different segment of the company to be valued differently by the investors, right? So here in tracing stock, what happens? It is a specified type of stock, right? It is not issued in the normal course of a business. right? Only during some special type, a special situation, it is issued, right? And these are issued by publicly held company, right? They are not held by a private, publicly held company to track the value of one segment of that company. In there are various segments in the company. To track the value of one segment, these type of stock are issued. And the company, if they want to control, they can get an idea by knowing the P ratio, profit volume ratio. They will get a picture, idea. They can trace a stock, right? And they will be issued to one particular segment, one particular public, one particular area, right? Such kind of stock are called as tracing the stock. They do it. The performance of the stock also is being measured here, and the company retains control over the subsidiary, and to the business may also can get continued. And the next is corporate control. We have studied about corporate control, how a business is going to control their business, or how a merger will get avoided. First is by anti-takeover defense. We have studied so many anti-takeover defense, like poison pill was there, like corn gel was there, or like shark repellent was there. So those all things were anti-takeover defense. If a company want to do any kind of anti-takeover defense, that is a part of corporate control. Similarly, share repurchases. Company may sometimes do a share repurchases because they want to gain the more amount of voting power. They want to gain more amount of power. Buyback of the share they will do. They want to get into the company again, majority, with the majority number of share they want to reduce in the market. So share repurchases they will do. Exchange offers they will do. Like if you have a shares, you can exchange with the debentures, or you can exchange with the other securities also with the company. By this, what happens ultimately, by share exchange, ultimately you will not be getting some uh, more amount of funds by the investors, and the common stock will get exchanged to the degree of level of the exchange common stock, and they will be reduced in the common exchange. And finally, you will find that due to the exchange, number of people holding the investment will be less. And proxy contents, the proxy contests are those the way to take control of the company without owning a majority, right? So actually this is not a right way to take the control. So as it is an attempt made by a single shareholder or a group of shareholders to undertake control or bring about under changes, which is called as a proxy mechanized of corporate control. In proxy fight, a bidder may attempt to use a voting right and garner the support from other shareholders with you to expel the incubated board of management, right? He will take the control of the other voters, right? Other voters, though he is not having the majority of the voting right, though by some measures, by some tender offers, or by less frequent kind of things, they will do a proxy content. In proxy contents, they raises a question of adverse selection, which is the main disadvantage of corporate restructuring through proxy contents. And this all the time doesn't work in the organization, because people will be prepared. Your shareholders, your management will be prepared. Might be some people are not willing to go with the management, but all the people, they are not like going against the management. So proxy contest is one kind of a criteria to take a control in the company. Now, the change in the ownership will happen due to the various things like leveraged buyouts, master limited partnership, going private, and employee stock options. Right? These are three more kind of the change in ownership which a company will does, and this is a thorough uh, area or the explanation of the different types of corporate